What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time I'm going to be taking a look at Silence of the Lambs. So, I covered Manhunter, which was the introduction to Hannibal Lecter. Now, I reviewed the movie that is the official, iconic introduction, long-lasting introduction. The movie that gave us Anthony Hopkins' flawless portrayal of the Hannibal Lecter character. But before I tell you my overall thoughts on Hannibal Lecter and Anthony Perkins and his portrayal in this film, let's cover the basics first. Now, directed by Jonathan Demme, screenplay by Ted Talley, based off the novel of the same name. Of course, in the novel, Silence of the Lambs is a sequel to Red Dragon. Of course, Silence of the Lambs, this is not a sequel to Manhunter. This is a standalone movie that is completely non-canonical with Manhunter. It stands on its own 2 feet. And you know what? This movie's fucking fantastic. It's great. I love everything about Silence of the Lambs. Jonathan Demme brings this grounded, gritty, realistic look to the film with his direction. The cinematography just enhances that vision as well. Kevin Chichisawa, I can't, if I butchered his name, I'm sorry. He's a very talented DP, and his work shines through with this film. His shots are lit up beautifully. Everything is on point. The performances in this movie are fantastic. You got Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford, and Scott Glenn is an amazing actor, and he brings his A game to Crawford. You know, he has that gruffness, but he also has that warmness to him. He's able to balance it out, and it comes across as very genuine and very real. You have Anthony Heald as Dr. Chilton, and he's just a slimy scumbag. And Anthony Heald is such a great actor that he gives Chilton that slimy charisma, and just he portrays that man you just want to hate and see someone get him. So, and at the end, when you know that Hannibal's got him cornered, you're just like cheering in your seats, like yeah. And yeah, it's just great. Anthony Heald's great as Chilton. He's fantastic. He has a lot of cool stuff. He has a lot of funny lines. And I love the antagonistic relationship he and Hannibal have. They're always at odds with one another. It's great. And Chilton will just do so much petty shit to Hannibal that it just enhances the rivalry between the two. It's great. And you have Frankie Faison as, the gentle orderly known as Barney, and Frankie Faison just comes across as a very, very likable guy as Barney. He's very respectful. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more scenes with him. I would actually like to have seen more scenes with him and Hannibal and see what their relationship is like. I didn't get that. And, but for what it was, I liked what I got. You got Ted Levine as Buffalo Bill. And Ted Levine's a fantastic actor. And he makes Buffalo Bill that intimidating villain that you just can't wait to see stop. He does such heinous things. Killing and kidnapping and killing women, taking their skin, trying to make a skin suit out of them, a la Ed Gein, of course. He's also an amalgamation of Ted Bundy, who would fake injuries to lure his prey. So Buffalo Bill, he's a iconic villain who is overshadowed by Hannibal Lecter, because by himself, if this movie just had Buffalo Bill by himself, it would still be a damn good movie, because Bill is a good villain. And Ted Levine, he does a really good job at bringing Bill to life. Even though we don't get to know too much about him, Ted Levine's a talented actor that you can see those little nuances within him. So yeah, Ted Levine, fantastic in this movie. And of course, he got some supporting cast in this movie to do the good job too. You got those 2 guys that work in the museum. Those guys are pretty funny. Of course, Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling. What can I say that has been said about Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling? She's fantastic as Clarice. I love the chemistry with her and Jack Crawford. I adore the chemistry she has with Anthony Hopkins. Those two just play so well off one another. Unparalleled chemistry between Foster and Hopkins. They're fantastic. They every scene that those two are in, they steal every scene, and their performances are so charismatic and so electric. They just suck you right into the film. It's hard to take your eyes off Jodie Foster. Even when she's by herself, it's hard to take your eyes off her because she has such a commanding presence. But when she's acting alongside Hopkins in the same scene, it's really hard to take your eyes off both those two because they're just so damn good. All right, now, let's address the elephant in the room, and that is Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. What can I say that has not been said before? Anthony Hopkins made Hannibal Lecter the iconic character he is today. One of the greatest movie villains ever. A man who was always 5 steps ahead of everyone. Conniving, smart, sinister. Sinister politeness. That's what Hannibal is. Sinister politeness. Hannibal the Cannibal. The scenes he has with Jodie Foster, they're unsettling, they're creepy, but they develop a mutual respect for one another throughout the course of the film. You can tell that Lecter has a liking for Clarice. And like I said earlier, the antagonistic relationship he has with Chilton is great. Lecter has this really cool scene where he's antagonizing this senator because Buffalo Bill has kidnapped her daughter, and the entire plot is to find her daughter before Bill kills her. And Lecter just antagonizes this poor woman, and it's great to see just how much of a dick he is to this woman. It's fantastic. And you got that beautiful movie within a movie scene where he escapes the prison that he was transferred to, and it's a great 10 minutes. Probably like the best 10 to 15 minutes probably my favorite 10 to 15 minutes of this whole movie was that little mini movie near the end of the film when Lecter escapes. It's just so well done. It's so suspenseful, and it's gripping to watch how he's able to outsmart everyone. You know, he kills these 2 cops. He skins a guy's face off, puts it on himself. And once he gets out into an ambulance, he kills the 2 ambulance attendants, and he escapes, and it's great. And then of course we get to the ending of the film where we see him in a Caribbean country stalking Chilton, and it's the only way you could end that movie. And of course, Jodie Foster, eventually she graduates from being an FBI trainee to an FBI agent once she takes out Buffalo Bill and saves the senator's daughter. So the movie ended the only way it could end, and it's fantastic. Silence of the Lambs to me has very little flaws, and any flaws they do have, for me, they're just nitpicks, because a great movie to me is predicated on an engaging story, amazing acting, solid directing, and competence. And this movie has competence to it. And you can tell the people making this movie wanted to make a damn good movie, and the love for the material shows on screen. And that's why Silence of the Lambs deserves a 10 out of 10. This is one of the rare perfect 10 movies that you'll ever see. If you have not seen Silence of the Lambs, you owe it to yourself to see a true American movie classic. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Silence of the Lambs. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you like professional wrestling, subscribe to my other channel, for which I'll provide a link for in the description box below. Thank you and goodbye.